This is the grave of Evison Earp. Evison Earp became a riding mechanic for a few Indianapolis 500 drivers in the 1920s. He left that profession to become a doctor. This is the grave of Harry Stutz. Nine Stutz cars finished in the top 10 early in the 500 history. The Stutz Bearcat was a very popular car early on in the Indianapolis 500. This is the grave of Theodore Myers, nicknamed Pop. He was a general manager of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway starting in 1916. He died while still an employee of the Speedway. This is the grave of Irwin Cannonball Baker. He would race in a few early Indy 500 races, but he would hold several speed endurance records, particularly coast-to-coast records. He died in 1960. This is the grave of Eddie Waldo Edinburgh. He was the chief steward of Indianapolis Motor Speedway for 1919 until 1934. This is the grave of Charles Mers. He drove in the first three Indianapolis 500s. He came in second place in the 1913 race. He would later become a race official and car sponsor. This is the grave of the Bose family. Father Robert and son Robert Jr. They were longtime car sponsors, especially early in the Indy 500 history. They were most famous for their 1961 sponsor of Indy 500 winner A.J. Foyt. This is the grave of Arthur Lathrop. He was the sponsor of several race cars of the Indianapolis 500. This is the grave of George Ober. He was a co-founder of the United States Auto Club, known as USAC. This is the grave of Paul Russo. Paul had 5 top 10 finishes in the Indianapolis 500 during 1941 to 1959. In 1961, Tony Bentonhausen Sr. was test driving one of Paul Russo's cars when he crashed and died. This is the grave of Harry Cotton Henning. He was a chief mechanic during the 1930s and 40s and was a chief mechanic for Wilbur Shaw when he won the race in 1939 and 1940. Okay, I'm walking up to the Garden Crypt. This is the crypt of Lem Trotter, 1870 to 1966. He was a realtor and he assisted Carl Fisher in choosing the site of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. He also purchased over 350 acres around the speedway himself and platted the city of Speedway, Indiana. This is the crypt of Fritz Duesenberg. He was with the Duesenberg Motor Company, who had a very successful run with the Indianapolis 500. Fritz, unfortunately, was unable to keep that going, and the Duesenberg Company failed. Fritz Duesenberg, 1908-1976. This is the crypt of Chet Miller. He drove in 16 Indianapolis 500s. He had 5 top 10 finishes. Tragically died while practicing for the 1953 Indianapolis 500. This is the crypt of Irving Jacob Reuter. He was the president of Oldsmobile Motors from 1925 to 1934. This is the niche of A.J. Watson. He was a 4-time Indianapolis 500 winning chief mechanic. This is the mausoleum. This is the crypt of Thomas Hanna. He was the medical doctor for the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. The medical building at the Speedway is named in his honor. This is the crypt of August Duesenberg. He was from the Duesenberg Motor Company and brother of Frederick Duesenberg, who specialized in racing engines. This is the crypt of Gaylord Ford, sometimes known as Snappy Ford. He was a riding mechanic and a track official at the Indianapolis 500. This is the crypt of Jimmy Dewalt. He was Rookie of the Year in 1953. He had top 10 racing finishes in 1953 and 1955 of the Indianapolis 500. This is the crypt of Colonel Roscoe Turner. He was a race official and he raced airplanes in the 1930s. He founded the Roscoe Turner Aeronautical Corporation in Indianapolis. Two crypts down is Arthur Harrington. He designed the Jeep and other light trucks for military use, and he also designed trolleys and buses, and worked with the Indianapolis 500. Here is the crypt of Howdy Wilcox. His father, Howard Howdy Wilcox, was an Indianapolis 500 winner. Howdy Wilcox here was instrumental in starting the Indy 500 festival, and he was also the founder of Indiana University's Lolo 500 bicycle race. If we go down the hall, you will find the crypt of Carl Kaiser. He was a mechanic, an official, and Speedway Hall of Fame museum curator. And next to him is George Bignotti. He was a famed mechanic with 85 Indy car race wins as a crew chief. This is the crypt of Jim Hurteboys. He was Rookie of the Year in 1960 and drove in 10 Indianapolis 500s.